What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another video. Today I wanted to go over the topic of 5 different things that I feel like could definitely push gacha games to the next level in this community and the actual space of games itself. In no particular order I created these, but I did gather insight from friends and different peers and stuff like that in the space over time that I've been playing this for a very long time. It's been about 10 years now since I've been playing gacha games, and I've pretty much dived into, I want to say, about like 80% of the ones that have made it to global, just to test them out, because it's always been a dream of mine to write or co-produce something in the game space. So I've done a lot of research in the mechanics and the way that they play and everything like that. First up on the list, I have something that I feel like has been a topic now that AFK Journey is out again, is doing servers, like gacha games that have different servers. And I'm not just talking about like global servers versus CN servers versus JP servers and stuff like that. I'm talking about games that are closely related to the way that AFK Journey and AFK Arena and stuff has done it, where they have different numbered servers, which means that the gameplay experience is fresh when you start on this server for everyone, and everyone kind of has like an equal playing field to that. And I've been thinking a lot about that because it's a very significant way that they do this, because it does allow free to play and pay to win have somewhat of a balance, I would say, in the way that they get rewards and the way that they can progress and everything like that, but it's not perfect. And I think it's going to be a long time before it becomes perfect for everyone. But here's some thoughts from myself on the way to make this better, specifically on servers themselves. Now, I've always thought that it would be a pretty cool idea to have like servers that are set up to be like pay to win only, which means that shops and the way that you summon and everything like that is catered more for someone who's going to be spending money, whether it's buying the seasonal battle passes or they're just straight up buying currency from the shop to spend to grab characters or cosmetics or whatever it may be. My idea is that we have different servers set up for non-spending servers that have the ability to buy the cosmetics or anything that is like theme change and stuff like that doesn't directly influence your stats on your character and or progression stats overall. Like you can't buy stamina and everything like that. This way, every single person on this server is on an even playing field. Now, how can we even dive deeper into making this a reality? Well, the pay-to-win servers, they're for the people who want to put time and effort and money into these games to try and progress versus other people who are doing that. Entry to these servers could be like $1, or they could be like a subscription based type thing to where if you're paying the subscription on this server, then you automatically get the battle pass or whatever it may be. You have to do some kind of entry pay, and then you are rewarded for it. Obviously, you would be rewarded for these things, and I would say even more so than the people who are doing free to play. So there would be like different incentives to bring you to this server. Different little things that don't like change the game itself, but maybe you get free skins or you get like 20-30 free summons a month or something like that for being a part of this subscription. Whatever the details are, I haven't thought that deep into it. I was kind of just touching on the base surface of this idea, but we can spread those out. Now, yes, at some point these servers are going to have to merge because there will be players that drop off and everything like that. So my idea to kind of combat against that in totality is you have a server log of, let's say, every single day there is 5 to 10 free to play and then 5 to 10 pay to win servers that are created for the first month of the game. And then after that, maybe we create another couple of servers every single week. That way the newer players that are coming for like a certain character drip that came out or something, that they announced a new character and entice them to want to come try this game out. So they have the ability to come into this game at a later point, and they still have that choice of being pay to win or free to play, and they're still going up against even ground. Server unions will happen where like servers will collide, or not collide, but they'll merge together at some point because there will be inactivity, and they can start doing this in that range. So like within a 1 to 2 day range of the server being launched, they start merging those servers first. This will be the closest way to kind of have those servers merge together without people having way too much progress. And about that time, it'll be like 3-4 months into the game at that point, where a lot of people start dropping off. The honeymoon phase is over with all of the resources and everything like that. Everyone's in-game, they're grinding. So we're pretty much all on the same level playing field at that point. If you guys have any thoughts on this, and I'm gonna kind of ask this between every single section, but if you have any thoughts on specifically like the pay to win versus free to play servers, if you think that's a good idea, if it's a horrible idea, please let me know down in the comments. These are all subjective opinions. They're things that I've thought about, and I know other people who have had different experiences throughout the gacha space may have different ideas. I was just trying to bring to light things that that I would think would help fix these things, or at least alleviate some of the stress and pain between like free to play and pay to win. Now, obviously, the people who are doing pay to win, they are supporting the game, and we don't want to take that away completely as an option, because it's how these games flourish. It's how they're able to make updates, stay in business, and everything like that. So by no means am I trying to create a way to where these games come out and the producers or the creators get nothing from it, because they are well deserved of getting what they're getting, but I feel like they can do it in a less predatory way, and that's the, I guess, the information that I'm trying to bring to light. So next up is going to be better rewards, and this is also very subjective whenever it comes to the game, because some games are better at that than others. I feel like in gacha games, like, we get way too many rewards right off the bat, and it sets a standard of most people in the common headspace of how this game is going to be going forward, and it's like a false identity to what we're actually going to be experiencing for the long run. Either we spread those rewards out in a more longer term pace to where we, I guess, you feel more accomplished with the pools that you get, the currency that you save up, like you're actually gaining benefit from them, and you're not just hunting every single character banner that comes out. Because let's be real, the way that it's set up is not meant for free to play players to get every single characters. It really has us on a path of being very picky and very choosy with what we're going to do with those the currency that we get along the way, whether it's building up certain characters for the meta, or building up certain characters that we just enjoy to try out, or enjoy how they look, or resonate with them on an aesthetic or personality level and stuff like that. So rewards, I feel like they're sometimes hit or miss. Certain games do a very good job of that. Like Honkai Star Rail, I feel like does a very good job of that for a free to play. If you can serve everything correctly when you're playing the game, pretty much every other banner, I feel like you can at least have the attempt of getting one of those characters, and you don't feel like you're just completely left out. And they did introduced pity at some point way back then, to where it had a mathematical, I guess, equation to getting these characters as well that put a different level on top of what these games act like. Genshin Impact is another one that I would say has a horrible reward system for a free-to-play experience all around whenever it comes to that. Like, the amount of summons and pulls you get outside of big events is very insignificant. I think it takes like 2 days to get a single summon, or 1 day. It's been a while since I've played it, but I did play since launch, and I played all the way up until like the 3rd or 4th big patch. I have been away with it, so if it is changed, let me know. Obviously, games do have the ability to update over time and kind of listen to the community and or give out more to the community on regards to that. That one's a pretty short one. I think it's self-explanatory. Just the way that we progress in games, I feel like it needs to be fine-tuned across the board on most of these, because it creates a false sense of hopium from the beginning that we're going to continuously get these gifts. And by no means am I saying give us more gifts, give us more resources, give us more rewards or whatever, like just in totality for no reason. More content would be better, but obviously content takes money, creating content takes time, and we get these events from here and there. But just if there was a better reward system, or maybe like a different way outside of just stamina and stuff like that to get rewards, I feel like it would push these games, like the playability of them, rather than just hopping on for 30 minutes to an hour a day, knocking out all the dailies and getting done with it. Next up, I am going to talk about power creep and content content power creep, and two different things, but in one kind of generalized summary that I'm going to talk about. When I'm talking about power creep, I'm talking about characters that come out in future banners that are blatantly more powerful than the characters that came before. Now, if you've played any single game in history that has any kind of progression, and I'm not talking just gacha games, if you've played any game in history and it has a progression system, that at some point your character, your experience will be different from when you started the game in a positive way. The game's going to become easier because your characters have had the time to be nourished by, one, your own intellect and skills, the way that you play the game, your experience now that you've gone into it and you've kind of built a habit up around these characters and or teams. But in general, it's okay for things to be power creeping older characters. It's a true progression of how many RPGs or many MMOs or any kind of adventure games and stuff like that, they just tend to go in that direction, because as a player, we want our characters to become stronger and stronger over time. Now, do I mean just leave the old characters in the dust? Absolutely not. I think there should always be newer characters or newer items and stuff that come out that allow these older characters to at least have some relevance in the newer content. No, I do not want them to just be as powerful as the new characters, because then it would kind of cease the reason to even go for new characters on banners and stuff like that. So I'm not against power creep, but I feel like the way that it's handled is in a completely greedy way. A lot of games, they do it in a completely greedy way, and they'll also power creep content to a point to where your older characters have no relevance anymore. And it doesn't matter about skill, it doesn't matter about experience, and it doesn't matter about anything. It matters about a stat check. And unfortunately with RPGs, stats are usually king when it comes to like turn-based games and or like these action games where they have enrage timers and stuff like that, to where the boss just significantly gets stronger or hits harder or one-shots you when he gets to a certain point. So obviously those revolve around stats. The reason I'm bringing this up is because what Wuthering Waves to me, and to what I've been researching and what I've been seeing in the closed beta and stuff like that, is that this one is actually focusing more heavily on skill based, to where you can go in with a level 1 character. If I am thinking this correctly, you can go in with a level 1 character and clear all of the content. Now obviously if there's going to be like time attacks or leaderboards and highest damage done and stuff like that, then that kind of blows that out of the picture of what I'm talking about, because it does again come down to like a more predatory power creep, to where they are enticing you to do certain things within the game to get stronger items or stronger characters in return on that. Let me know what y'all think about that, because I know that's a split opinion. Obviously power creep usually doesn't affect the way that most pay to win players have their experience, but as free to play, it does positively or negatively impact your experience, especially on games where we don't have the luxury of seeing the future banners before they come out, and we don't have the time to plan ahead. There is certain games that they have a global server and they have a JP or KR server and CN server, stuff like that, where they're a couple updates advanced than us, so we have the ability to see what's coming next and we can plan accordingly. But for the games that just launch straight up on global all at the same time with all the other servers and everything, it makes a worse experience for free to play, because then if you mess up once on a banner, or you don't get one character that everyone's raving about saying that they're meta and you need them and you don't want to miss out on them, it discourages that player to continue playing, and a lot of people drop off. If there was a way to go look, I'd be interested, maybe there is, I just haven't seen it. If there's a way to see this and see when the decline of subs are or when the decline of logins are for certain games, I guarantee they're coming out, those decline is happening during bigger banners, like the banners of huge characters, limited banners, or stronger characters come out. You'll see a decline in people playing the game because they obviously didn't get that character. They feel that they are not going to be able to progress, or they feel that they're just not going to be able to stay up with the meta or take on the new content that comes out. Next up is going to be stamina and energy, just basically your way to play the game. Now, there is some games that they don't have stamina or energy, but they have like a certain amount of times you can do certain objectives during the day. They have basically walls that you can't pass unless you progress to a certain point. Specifically talking about like AFkJourney is the newest one that I can explain, is you have to be a certain resonance level to be able to unlock the newer parts of the map. And to get that certain resonance level, you have to gain the material from either waiting for the AFK stage to fill up, you get it, or progressing in the AFK stage, which at some point you're going to get stuck because your characters are not strong enough. Your synergy is just not going to work anymore. And these enemies are going to face roll you no matter what you do. But in the retrospect of that, for pay to win players, you have the options of buying bundles and you have the options of buying these items and everything. And it's not so much looking at skill or experience or thought process of your teams anymore. You're just face rolling through because you're stronger. You don't have to think about it. You throw whatever out there, you get through it. So stamina and energy, ways that this can be fine-tuned, I guess, is give us the option to play through all of the content without this. Don't create like these mediocre roadblocks that just stop someone from playing, or create it in a way to where a game is not meant to be played for more than 4 hours in a day, or maybe it's meant to be played as much as you want. I don't know the answer to this. Like I said, I'm trying to bring up the concerns to start conversations with you guys. I'm just thinking of my ideas, what I would implement to kind of push that forward. Yeah, I think stamina and energy is just a silly concept in general. I do understand it. These gacha games are not meant to be MMOs to where you just play it all day every day. They have login rewards for a reason. They have these accumulations of rewards for a reason, like the AFK offline rewards and everything like that. Like, they're designed in a way to not require too much time, I guess, and they're respective. But then there's other games that have these energy systems that they have other items in the game that require you to collect them. Specifically, we'll go back to Genshin on this one. The materials that you use to like ascend your characters and everything like that, it takes a long time to get those. Also, another good one is Reverse 999. On that game, man, it takes like, I would say like at least a week to 2 weeks to take one singular character all the way through their path from the very beginning to, maxed out. Not even maxed out. I would just say like you're 90% of the way there, about 2 weeks per character. And that's if there's an event out, then you can go faster because these events give materials enough for like one character to get all the way through. Then you're back to grinding on another character again. So yeah, like on that one, the stamina is so horrendous that you can play for like maybe a maximum of 45 minutes a day. And that's like if you're pushing it, not doing things on auto battle and stuff like that. Last but not least, I'm going to touch on something I was just talking about before, is going to be progress gatekeeping. This one is the most absolutely ridiculous idea and concept that I think has come into this space more recently rather than later. I remember Epic 7 and 7 Nights, and I believe Summoner's War did something similar as well. It's been a very long time since I played them, but I remember a lot of games started doing this back in, I want to say like 2017, 2018, around that time. It started getting very popular to like gatekeep your progress. And to me, that's silly. Like, why would you want to keep people off of your game or just force them in the mindset to spend? I think the whole thing with the way that these games market to their audience for selling items and stuff like that, or selling stamina or selling recharge and resources to boost up your characters, it can be refined in a way to where it's beneficial to everyone. Like the company can still make money, and my thought process behind that is most of these gacha games, people resonate with the character. They have a main, and most of these games, they don't bring out costumes, they don't bring out skins or like aesthetics for the characters and everything like that, to where we can have a more customized experience, obviously with the same stats, same teams and everything like that, but at least have like 1 to 2 skins per character, instead of just thinking of new ways to get people to buy the new stronger character that's coming out. I guarantee these games will make more money if they offered the lower spenders and or even entice the free-to-play players to buy these different character skins and stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. I hope this has brought some like clarity or insight, or just open your guys' mind to this. I'd be interested to see what you guys say. Like always, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.